Hi everybody, and good afternoon or good morning wherever you are, and welcome to this special Yellow Live webinar. My name's Christian Lydiard, and joining me today is Damien Salter. Hi Damien, how are you?
Good, Christian.
Damien,
Hello,
tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at Yellow Pages.
Yeah, I'm working in our digital strategy and capability team. I work with our sales teams to help them understand the digital landscape so that they can explain it simply and easily to our customers. And I also work with some of our premium end advertisers on their digital strategies and how they can best engage with their marketplace.
Great. And Damien's here to help us understand and uncover some opportunities for your small business, particularly when it comes around social media. So today is all about social for business. And we have our sales team joining from all over the country. So as I said, it was either good morning or good afternoon because we do have our people right around the country joining us. We've also got people joining us that are in their own small businesses that have been invited by our telesales channels today. So welcome to you if you're joining us from within your business, and hopefully we can help you uncover some opportunities. Now this is a YouTube live presentation, which means there is a comment thread. So feel free to ask your questions as we go, and we'll have one of our strategy and digital experts moderating that so that we can provide you with the right advice.
I think Greg's out there keeping an eye on that for us today, so I'm sure he'll be available for anybody who has any questions.
Definitely. So Damien, social media, right? It's one of these things that's now sort of becoming a teenager. But when we think about business, it's really changed from being quite simple. So as a small business in the past, you could have a business card, maybe an open sign, an ad in the Yellow Pages, and your phone would ring. But today it's becoming really, really complex, and there are so many different choices that people can see, and you can see an illustration of this on the screen as well. So there are so many different options available to people when they're looking to generate interest in their business.
Definitely.
In terms of marketing mix, what should people be thinking about?
Well, the marketing mix for small to medium businesses throughout Australia is becoming more and more complicated, and it evolves every year. So all businesses should consider their website as the centre of their digital experience.
Yes.
And consider where within search they should be positioned.
Yep.
And also, as we're talking about today, how they can connect with their most valuable customers through social media.
Yeah, great. So one of the things that people in business have looked at for a long time is the buying funnel, or the purchase of funnel, or the consumer journey. There's a few different names and there's a few different variations here, but social is one of these things that traditionally played at the top of the funnel. So can you just talk through what this process is for us?
Certainly. So as you can see on the screen right now, there are various different iterations of a purchasing funnel that a customer might go through. This is just one example of. And in essence, it illustrates the cycle a customer goes through when making a buying decision. They start off becoming aware of a need or a product that they might require. They then progress through to comparing different businesses, researching their needs and how an individual business might fulfill that, and travel all the way through to eventually choosing a business, completing a purchase, and then sharing that experience with their friends, family and social followers.
Yeah, and social media, look, particularly Facebook has really changed this, right? Because business owners can take advantage of opportunities all the way through that funnel today.
Definitely. And one of the great things about social media, it now has such a reach out into the greater marketplace that it can be a really effective way to connect with those people that want to do business with you. Yeah,
great. We're going to take a short video now to have a look at what's going on for social media here in Australia for 2017.
The 2017 Census Social Media Report is here. We're more obsessed with liking, swiping and checking in than ever before. It's the visual platforms that have led the growth in usage this year, driven by our obsessions with our smartphones and ourselves. Almost half of us are now posting selfies, and that number rises amongst young people like myself. People are now happy using social media pretty much anywhere, even when at lunch with family and friends. In fact, for young people, taking a photo of their food has become just as important as eating the food itself. We decided to speak to an expert about what impact this type of behaviour might be having.
Social media is possibly rewiring people's brains, with every like or retweet releasing small doses of dopamine that leave people happy and craving more attention. Anxiety and distress are on the rise among young people, and no doubt social media is having a significant impact as people feel under pressure to compete for attention online. It's also breaking down social norms, with almost 3/4 of young adults now happy to accept friend requests from complete strangers.
It's pretty clear social media is now a part of our daily lives, with people using it first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and when on the move. In fact, for young people in particular, it's pretty much unavoidable, so you better get used to it.
So social is clearly becoming something very significant in Australia, Damien. Some of the key stats that will pop on the screen now that we want to focus on is that almost 70% of all Australians are using social media. We've got 15 million active Australian users, and this is staggering, right? There is the average Australian spending 10 hours per week on Facebook.
What did we do before there was Facebook to waste time on?
Well, I think it's that multi-device thing, isn't it,
Yeah.
too, right? So people are often at home now, they're watching TV, but Facebook particularly can captivate somebody, right?
And it's a great example of, I think, mobile device usage and how it is become ingrained in what we do as consumers. I know 1 in 5 minutes spent on a mobile phone is spent on Facebook and Instagram. And that all adds up to a completely different way to connect with each other as humans, but also with businesses now as well.
Yeah. Now, we're going to talk about some Facebook advertising and options for businesses in a moment, but let's just draw sort of a distinct comparison between what is social media management or presence or posting versus advertising. So how would you define those?
So it's a really good point and something that a lot of businesses struggle with. To keep it really simple, if you're posting to your own business page with the aim of engaging your existing audience or growing your audience organically, that's social content management or community management. If you're actively advertising to look to go outside of your existing sphere of influence, if you will,
Yes.
that is social media advertising. And that's really what we're here to talk about today. Primarily because only 2.6% of your organic audience will see anything you post. So social advertising gives you a real chance to supercharge your business and reach a much broader audience than what you might organically be able to touch.
Let's explain that a little bit further, right?
Sure.
So, in business, you need to be aware that when it comes to digital, there are algorithms in place. And in the same way, Google has mysterious algorithms, Facebook also has algorithms, which means that as a consumer, you're only going to be served a very, very small portion of what's being published. And that's not only business, but even friends. So if you think about your own experience on Facebook, there's a good chance you see the same people over and over again, but that doesn't mean that your other friends aren't posting, right?
That's right. Facebook's changed substantially in the past 2 or 3 years, and
Yes.
if we go back in time, it was really easy to build an audience and connect with them. Essentially, every person that followed you may have seen what you post. But due to the sheer amount of content that individual users now see on Facebook, they've updated that algorithm to ensure that you're only seeing the things that you engage with the most.
Yes.
To make sure that you have a cleaner and simpler connection to that social world.
Yeah. So I guess what that means, though, as a business owner, if you really want to take advantage of what is enormous media consumption today, you do need to think about advertising options and ways to sort of really get your message in front of people.
Yeah, definitely. Organic content simply isn't going to do it for nearly every business out there now.
Okay.
Going beyond that current reach that you have is how you can really start to drive a return on investment through social media.
Okay, I'm going to put the next slide up because this gives us a real sense of just how quickly it's changed, right? So in just the last 12 months, we've seen almost 2 million additional people jump on Facebook.
That's right. Still growing. We've been hearing that Facebook's dying for many, many years, but it continues to grow in Australia. So in the last year, it's grown by 2 million users,
Yes.
up to 15 million. So it is still the king of social media platforms and channels within Australia.
Yes.
The interesting one for me is Instagram, almost doubling in size in the past 12 months. And really, Instagram's a very visual medium.
Yes.
So it's a great opportunity to be able to really engage with those customers that are out there and convey your business personality
Yes.
and the products and services that you offer.
Okay. Now, as a bit of a reminder before we get into a bit more detail, I think it's important for people to remember that advertising can simply be put into two very simple buckets, right? The first one we call passive advertising. So passive are the things that you do to create awareness about your business. In a traditional sense, that's things like television, radio, billboards. My favourite, which is beer coasters. But they're great for creating awareness.
Yeah.
Now, not everybody that sees that message will necessarily need to buy from you at that time. And then on the other side, we've got what we call active advertising. So active are all those things that people do when they're literally ready to connect. Phone in one hand and their wallet in another, right?
That's right. In essence, we can measure passive advertising through the number of people that see your ad. With active advertising, we start to look at how many people actually buy your product or service,
Yes.
and how you can ensure that you're converting as many of those customers into your customers as possible.
Okay. Now, Facebook is a teenager, right? So they're in their 13th year now, and there are lots of different ways that you can use social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram, to generate activity for your business. So let's go through some of them now, Damien. So the first one, let's talk about local awareness ads.
Yeah. Local awareness ads are great for businesses who have a bricks and mortar location and rely on in-store visits and phone calls to drive their business. Essentially, you're serving your ad out to a defined local area and can even target down to people who have specific interests in products, services, or age groups or demographics that you might find highly valuable.
Yeah. A few years ago, Damien, I had a business on the side. I've been with Yellow for 9 years, but the business that I had on the side was called Sweet Memories, and we're a photo booth company. And we quickly learnt that Facebook is quite a powerful medium. And I guess the story that I share is that we were able to target women who had just become engaged, that lived within 25 kilometres of my home, that were aged between 18 and 40. And that's this type of advertising, right?
Definitely.
Where we could narrow it down to that specific audience.
And that's the great thing with local awareness advertising. You can cover off the passive box, so make sure that as many people in your local market are seeing you as possible. But you can also make it direct and active advertising by including calls to action like visit now or call now. So it blurs the lines between your traditional advertising means, ensuring that it drives even more value for small and medium businesses.
Okay. Now the next one we want to touch on is clicks to website. So just simply driving traffic from Facebook or Instagram through to a website.
Yeah, so click to website ads are ideal for those types of businesses that want their customers to find out more information about them. So if you have more of a complicated product offering, driving that traffic to your website can be really valuable. Or any business who has a conversion means on their website. So if you can book an appointment via a website or buy through an e-commerce store, click to website ads are great to be able to connect with the customers where you want to have them going.
Okay. Now, one of the most effective forms of advertising that we've seen recently released, and it's continuing to iterate on Facebook, are what are called lead generation ads. So this is really a game changer,
Very
right?
much so.
So talk to us about lead generation.
So lead generation ads quite simply allow you to capture a customer's details from within the Facebook ecosystem. So your customer doesn't have to leave Facebook in order to interact with you, provide their details to you, and essentially become a customer. This removes another friction point from the customer's digital journey, and means that if you put a compelling offer in front of your potential customer and give them a reason, they're highly likely to complete their details, provide them to you, and make sure that you can then market to them in perpetuity.
Yeah, and this is about becoming seamless, right? So we work very closely with our digital partners such as Google, and it's all about 2 seconds and 2 clicks, right?
That's right.
So this is really speeding the process up for our consumers, but is a great opportunity for business.
That's it. And lead generation ads are ideal for those types of businesses that want to capture an audience. Maybe you'd like to create a database to market to, if you have a newsletter, or alternatively, if you wish to return a consumer's contact quickly. Lead generation ads are great in converting customers on a longer sales cycle.
Yeah.
What we do know though is that it is important for those advertisers out there to respond quickly to any potential customer who submits their details via a lead generation ad.
Yeah, great. And I guess we're seeing lots of bigger businesses do things where they are offering free content or value ads, things to help nurture customers along the journey.
That's it, and to get them over the hump to that purchasing decision. So quite often lead generation ads are highly qualified customers who are ready to buy. And as you say, now phone in one hand, wallet in the other.
Yeah. And the fourth ad type that we want to discuss is page like. And this, I guess, is where Facebook began.
Yeah.
So Facebook advertising has only been around for 3 or 4 years now, Damien, and this is where it began. So what are page likes all about?
So essentially, page-like ads are looking to grow that volume of people or followers who have liked your page.
Yes.
Really simple, really easy. However, it's, as you say, when 3 or 4 years ago when Facebook advertising first started, a form of Facebook, of social media advertising.
Yes.
As we've talked about, your organic page presence isn't as valuable as it was some years ago. So page-like ads are great for businesses who have a specific goal to increase that volume of people following their social presence, but it won't necessarily drive the same tangible business result that the other 3 types of ads we've just discussed will.
Okay. Let's take a look at a short clip and we're back in a moment.
Forget about connecting with customers online and buying social media ads. If you really want your florist to be liked, then what you need is a store greeter. A baby store greeter. Go.
Welcome to Birchmore Florist.
Oh, aren't you just so cute? I'll have every flower you've got. And that's how you get to be liked.
So joining me now, and with Damien as well, of course, is Noelia. Hi, Noelia. How are you?
Hi, Christian. Good. How are you?
I'm very well. Noelia, you are the product manager for Yellow Social Ads.
I am indeed, yes.
Pretty exciting time. We've just launched a brand new social offering. And really it's something that we've supercharged, right? So we've had social solutions for our customers for some time. How's it going?
It's going great. We're really, really happy with this new product and the new platform and the new service.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit of why you would consider Yellow Social Ads in your business. And I think the first thing to talk about is people, Noelia, because it's the people that really set us apart and give our small business owners that we work with an opportunity to sort of get an edge, right? So tell us about the team and what are their skill sets?
Absolutely. So we have a local team and they are experts in the field, really passionate about social media and helping small and medium businesses. And these guys are actually trained to develop and quality assure best-in-class Facebook and Instagram campaigns. So they are there to help our customers and guide them through their entire program.
Awesome. Now it's the expertise that they have which sets people apart too, right? So they have so much experience that when you're working with them, they might have some really crazy and creative ideas about what is going to be the best channel to support a business.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are there to help customers decide what the best objective might be for them, depending on what their goals are and what they want to drive.
Okay.
One of the challenges for small and medium businesses in the social media space is that it's complex. There are so many different types of ads to choose to match to different business objectives. Our team of social specialists are experts and they'll really hold the small business owner's hand through engaging with those consumers through social media.
Yes. Now the other thing that's really important is technology. And the technology is something that really does turn it up a notch for us. So machine-based learning and artificial intelligence are things that you hear a bit in the press at the moment. Noelia, what is the machine-based learning that we've got in the technology that we use for our customers here?
So our platform is a social-first platform, which was developed specifically to run campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. And the beauty of it is that it allows us to run 3 ad variations, and we have an algorithm behind it which optimizes the best performing ad to deliver results for the customers.
Okay, so can you give us an example of what that testing would be? So we do ABC testing, we're testing 3 variations. What type of variations might they be?
Yeah, great question. So on the first month, we might decide to test images. So we would have 3 ad variations with different images to see which one is the best for the audience that we're targeting. And then we might try different copies following maybe a call to action test and maybe an audience test later.
Okay.
And the great thing there is that as the technology learns which image or which call to action or which copy resonated most with your potential audience, it carries that forward into the next month and into future campaigns. So we're always improving the social media campaign and looking to drive additional value for the advertiser.
Yeah. Damien, could you talk to us about what is a tracking pixel? So we hear about pixels in the digital world today. What does the pixel do?
Certainly. So the tracking pixel allows us to essentially remarket or put ads in front of people who have visited your website before. So whether they engaged with your social media ad or came to your website through another means, if we're able to put ads back in front of those people who already know who you are, we know they're a higher chance of converting. Essentially,
So if somebody was to use the yellow social ads, what would they expect from a customer experience perspective? So how would we help our customers get up and running?
Yeah, so the first thing that would happen is our social specialist will call you and they will actually run you through what the campaign would look like, what your ads would look like, and what objective will be the best objective for you. And then later on, we'll obviously have the algorithm looking after your campaign, but again, the social specialist will be there to monitor everything and make sure that everything is on track.
Okay, so when we talk about setup, so it's making sure that we help the customer guide through the process. Then, of course, there's design and copy, right? So for businesses that are maybe less creative or aren't sure what to do, we will guide them through that process, will we?
Absolutely, yes. We'll make it easier for them.
Okay.
and that's one of the challenges, again, we talk about complexity of social advertising. With the social ad specialist, they remove that level of complexity from a small business owner so they can focus on what they do best.
Okay. Now, another thing that sort of goes hand in hand with this, of course, is having a Facebook page. So what are we able to do for our customers that may not have a Facebook page set up or don't even know where to start?
Yeah, so having a Facebook page is super important because that gives you access to the newsfeed and Instagram placements. And we actually help you enhance your Facebook page if it's not up to scratch. And if you don't have one, we create one for you.
Excellent. So for those customers that aren't on Facebook, haven't experienced it, we can guide them from the end-to-end process to help them optimise this opportunity.
Specifically for those customers that are new to Facebook, and new to social media as a whole, it's great for them because it allows them to transition from just having a personal profile through to a business page and then go beyond their current customers and their current friends, family and staff members who are probably the ones who follow them.
Yeah, excellent. I want to look at a real example now, right? So we've had a customer here in Melbourne that has generously allowed us to share their information and the performance of their campaign. So what you're seeing on the screen is DI Dental Implant Centre, a business based here in Melbourne, and the objectives for their campaign this month are clicks to website. So Noelia, what are the examples we're seeing on the screen here now?
So you can see different Facebook ad placements in here and also the Instagram placement. And at the moment, the focus of this campaign is audience learning. So we are learning which audience is interacting more and engaging more with the ads.
And of course, you know, to a consistent theme, right? A consistent sense of brand for a business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
Could you tell us a bit more about the audience targeting and how that works to get in front of the people that matter for a small business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the main point of Facebook and Instagram is actually delivering your ad to a relevant audience, an audience that will actually engage with your ad and that will ultimately convert for you.
So essentially, which group of your potential customers are most likely to convert?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in that story previously, like my own experience was that we're able to target, you know, that audience for our Facebook photo booth specific, and that's the type of testing that we're running in this campaign at the moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it means that you're able to choose different variations. So as you mentioned earlier, Christian, you could choose age, you could choose physical location, you could choose behaviour and what the user may have liked or interacted with in the past, or a combination of all.
Yeah, excellent. So what we're seeing on the screen now is an example of some real performance. So this is the 7-day performance of that business. Again, they've generously allowed us to share the information. And you can see that there's variations being monitored. And in this example, the one on the left is sort of winning out. It's getting 40% of the performance. And that's where the system would then optimise, Damien, to consider that as the best option and serve it more often?
That's right. So the machine learning process goes through a process of elimination.
Yes.
To make sure that we're putting the ad in the place that gets the most response.
Yes.
And that we're then using the media as effectively as we can.
Yeah, great. Now this is real performance, right? So we're seeing an example here. The objective again was generating 44 website visits. and that is the objective for this campaign over a 7-day period. One of the things I love in the reporting, and this is a live dashboard, Noelia.
It is live and dynamic.
It shows the customer a sense of when 1,600 times we've served up an ad, which means we're also creating awareness.
That's right. As we looked at earlier, social media really jumps the bridge between active and passive advertising. So we're ensuring that people in the local market see this business, but we're also driving activity to a place where we know they'll convert.
Okay.
So in this instance, this business has a conversion page on their website designed to book in an appointment.
Okay.
So we know then that click to website ads are ideal for them to achieve their business goals.
Yep. Now, Damien, Yellow and the team here at Yellow are one of the largest providers of many digital services in Australia.
Correct.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess, the efficiency and the effectiveness of the spend, right? So as a small business owner, getting a return on investment is going to be incredibly important. Talk to us about how this particular campaign compares with what would be happening in the industry in other platforms.
Certainly. So to put it really simply, customers who are searching for dental implants and dentists in Melbourne might be paying up to $15 per click to advertise on a search engine.
Okay.
We know that through social media, we can often reach customers at a fraction of that price,
Okay.
which means our overall cost per acquiring a new customer is driven way down.
Yeah. So I guess in its simplest form, whilst Google is very effective and it is an effective channel and could be right for the right business, when it comes to the expense in this particular example, Facebook is sort of presenting two opportunities. One, to create awareness, and one, of course, to achieve their objective, and it's doing it at a fraction of the cost, as you've said.
That's it. We're all about return on investment at Yellow. And for social media, it can fit into most small to medium businesses' ideal marketing mix to ensure they're covering off that entire funnel and the entire spectrum of customers that are really valuable to them.
Great. Now, we're getting close to Christmas, and what tends to happen is businesses get time poor and things become, they get delayed, right? So it's normal. But one of the things that I want to share today is that search traffic actually spikes in Australia. So if you think about yourself as a consumer, it's a busy time of the year, right? But once people get through to Boxing Day, we actually see search traffic, and the traffic of people searching and doing things online absolutely skyrocket, because it's when we actually have time to have a break.